Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today we will take out the Bell 407 from the brand new helicopters that have joined us in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're here on downtown Manhattan Heliport, and we will do a quick flight around Manhattan, explore a little bit of the flight dynamics of the 407, and then we're going to come back for a landing. Overall, I don't expect this to take more than 10 minutes, so let's go and enjoy the absolute beauty of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And here we are in the cockpit of the 407. And I would say we don't wait no more and we go flying straight away. I will say this much, that I do not have a lot of experience on helicopters. The only thing I have flown before in Microsoft Flight Simulator is the High Performance Group EC-145. So apart from that, I am an absolute noob at helicopters. But let's see how much fun this one's gonna be. Adding power slowly, while adding a bit of left rudder as well. And here we go. I scratched the gear on the very first attempt. Very good. Okay, but we are flying. Alright, let's turn it into the wind, and off we go for the very first attempt. My very first impression here is that this thing is really unstable. It takes a lot of control inputs to actually get this thing to go straight. Let's make a right-hand turn here. We'll stay at just about 500 feet and then start our way along the Hudson River. Alright, 500. Let's try to maintain that. I'll take off a little bit of power. Overall, they say you fly in helicopter in almost the same way like you fly in normal aircraft. So the power is used to control the speed, while the pitch is used to control the altitude. So we just about have to find the sweet spot here. Something that I do find a little bit strange is that my default trim commands that I have assigned to my flight stick are just not working here in the Bell 407. So it seems like they are not using the default elevator trim to trim the elevator, which is a little bit, well, let's say it just takes a little bit of getting used to initially, because it means that I have to hold my flight stick the entire time. But overall, my very first impression is that on the ground it felt a little bit, wobbly, which probably is just due to me not being used to helicopters at all. But once in the air, this flies actually quite nice. The only thing that surprises me is how much of left rudder I need in order to keep the turn coordinator centered. So let me just about let go of the rudder, and then look what happens. 3, 2, 1, go. In my opinion, it looks like this is going more straight than if I actually center the turn coordinator. So now the turn coordinator is centered, and now to me it looks like we are drifting to the right side now. To me it looks like we are in a side slip. That feels a little bit strange. Okay, so we found the railway station. I would say that sounds like a good place where we can fly over. Look at that. In New York, really everything is XXL, isn't it? And boy, seeing all those lovely buildings, I get kinda tempted to take the F-18 and go slalom in between the buildings. But I have a feeling if I do that and anyone from an aviation authority sees it, they are going to revoke my license pretty much straight away, so let's be a little more careful with that. Overall, it feels like it takes a little bit of getting used to, but I kinda feel better with the flight model. Let's see how well we can accelerate and decelerate. We'll try to maintain the 700 feet. Pull a bit of power off. return I have to raise the nose to maintain my altitude, and the speed is coming back. Nice. So this really works pretty much like in an airplane. Alright, we'll try to maintain the 60 knots. Which does work quite well. Okay, let's accelerate. Let's go full power. It is a strange feeling to lower that nose and not lose any altitude. But I guess I'll just about have to get used to it if I do want to fly helicopters a little bit more. So, can we land on that football pitch? That's a big question. Wind is coming from straight ahead. Let's make a left traffic pattern. And then see if we can make it down on that football pitch. That might be a good exercise before trying to land back at the downtown Manhattan heliport, which has a little bit less space available. Alright, so we are downwind. Let's start descending. Down to 500 feet, which should be a good pattern altitude. Alright. Turning base. Let's reduce speed a little bit more. I'm taking a bit of power off right now, while at the same time trying to maintain the 500 feet. Alright, that looks quite good to me. So, 60 knots. Let's go parallel to the shoreline, and then we'll just try to hover it in. I have absolutely no idea if that would be how you would land an actual helicopter if you wanted to go down on that football pitch, but then again, after all, this is still Flight Simulator. Okay, a bit less power. Now let's just about take it straight in from here. Okay. That looks quite alright. Let's bring it in. Slow and careful. Slow and careful. And we're down. Okay, we survived the very first landing. And almost made it to the middle. So, that was the training. Now comes the real exercise. Bringing it back down on the downtown Manhattan heliport. And off we go. That was not the best of all my takeoffs, but then again it was the very first I did from the outside in a long time. Right, so we'll just about fly around the corner, go up to 500 feet, and then we should be back at our heliport in a very few moments. And here we are, up at 500. So we'll just about follow the river, and then somewhere up there should be our heliport. So what's most important when we're flying helicopters is that you actually keep the aircraft under good control at all times. So try to minimize abrupt control movements, just like in a fixed-wing airplane. That doesn't really help you. What does help you is to take your time, approach slowly, and just like we did a little bit earlier, take yourself some big fields to practice before you're trying to put it right onto such a small heliport. And now while I'm saying all this smart stuff, I have taken exactly that single one landing to practice. So let's see how much we can mess this up. So going almost to idle, trying to reduce my speed here. But we have to descend as well. That looks just about right, but it looks to me like I'm overshooting. Let's see if we can fix that by going a bit slower. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, that looks good. That does look good. So, nice and slow. Nice and slow. Tiny bit more thrust to arrest that radar descent. And... no, that was too much. Come on, come on. We made it! We made it! Not exactly on the spot, but hey, at least I managed to hit that yellow box. Alright. So, that was my very first tour with the helicopter in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, what do I think of it? It takes a little bit to get used to that flight model, and be very sure to actually turn off those assists. Otherwise, it becomes boring, okay? But it is an interesting experience doing this, and I am looking forward to do it a little bit more. But for now, that's gonna be it for today's video. My very first impression, Microsoft did an interesting job there. I'm not a helicopter pilot, so I don't want to comment on how realistic or unrealistic all those flight models are. But overall, it certainly is a lot of fun, so go out and enjoy doing that yourself. That is going to be it from my side. If you liked the video, like, comment and subscribe. And if you really want to support the channel, then there is a Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.